teach your child to read. Hey homeschool families, Prime Day is upon us, and we're getting closer and closer to beginning our homeschool years. In fact, some of us have already started, and some of us go year-round. So, here is some information to help you prioritize, categorize. My first priority when it comes to taking advantage of those Prime Day deals is to really look at what I need in basic supplies. And this is obviously going to differ from family to family. And my saying is, you're not buying supplies and items for a lifestyle. You're buying those things for your lifestyle and the lifestyle of your family. And so you really want to consider how your family is best going to utilize those materials. In my case, we have a homeschooler and an in-schooler. We have, some sports going on with ice hockey. And so there's a lot going on. And so with that in mind, I make purchases based upon our family's needs. And you should be no different. So some items that you may want to consider are things like printer paper, ink, if you're going to be using a printer. You may want to look into special deals on a printer. This might be a great time to do that. Definitely for littles, I would encourage you to get a whiteboard like this. Whiteboard markers are going at a great price, glue sticks, all those type of things that are very simple, basic items. If you are out of stock in those items, this might be a great time to stock up on them. My next category is sorting sets. So for littles ages 3 to 7, you might want to go thematic. If you have a child that really loves dinosaurs, you might want to get a dinosaur set. You might want to look at jungle animals. You might want to look at different types of sets that are thematic in nature that interest your child, that can get them sorting them into different groups. You can do math problems with them. There's so much that you can do. They can even tell a story with them. And so in that sense, they cover so many categories and subjects. So I highly recommend that you look into some sorting sets and thematic sets, such as animals, dinosaurs, trains, vehicles, anything that interests your child. My next category to consider are tracing tools. Our children are developing their small muscles in their hands, and writing can be really, really overwhelming and challenging when we're talking about letter formation. And getting a tracing tool such as the one right here on the screen can really be fantastic, because it's less intimidating for the child to follow, and it gives the guidelines. So this is a great tool and a fun tool. My next category is art supplies. Art supplies can be super expensive, and this is a great time to get them in a kit, in a set bundle, or a bulk item. If you know there's something you're going to be using a lot of. I know that in the past I've bought a ton of glue sticks and we have gone through them. So it's really up to you to decide again what is necessary for your family, what you plan on doing, what interests your child. But this is a really great time, even if you're not sure exactly of those things and those answers to those questions exactly, that you can get a kit full of different items and a smorgasbord really to try out at much less than you would normally pay. My next category would be pocket calendars and pocket charts. A pocket calendar can really make telling the day and the day of the week and all of those things that go around our calendar learning. It can make that really interactive. There's so much learning that can happen with the calendar. As far as our ages 3 to 7, we teach a lot of number sense with that. You do tally marks, all sorts of things. And a pocket chart that is for a calendar can really give some structure to that, and it can be a great way to start your day. All right, my next category is math manipulatives. So in the category of math manipulatives, I encourage families to keep them rather simple and basic so that you can use them in a lot of ways. I really recommend Unifix cubes. I recommend anything like counting bears if you find those for a great deal. There's just a lot of different things out there. 10 frames are great for helping children see how numbers can be made in different ways. This type of number sense skills, it really plays into future math concepts, so it's super important. And tangrams. Tangrams are great for that hand-eye coordination, spatial awareness, and of course, learning our geometric knowledge and skills. So all of these things are super, super, super good. My next item, and it's not so much a category as an item, but I guess if we were to put it into a category, we'd say furniture, but I really encourage an easel. I love easels because they allow for so many options. You can have interactive type activities up there. When I was in the classroom and with my own boys, when we were doing homeschool at home when they were younger, I would have them actually paint with water and Q-tips on the blackboard side of the easel. And this is a super easy, fun, and non-intimidating way, and really easy cleanup as well, I might add. So I highly recommend an easel for so many reasons. My next category is for the language arts area, and I really recommend some manipulatives where they can do some word building, they can do more letter formation that's tactile, which means they're using their senses, kinesthetic, which means they're using movement. So I really encourage you to look into that area. There's so many options out there, and there's not really one that I would say is better than another. It really just depends on what you want and need, and you certainly don't need all of them. So I would encourage you just to look at what's out there and choose maybe one or two, and that would be plenty because you can do so much with it. All right, my next category is for play and role play. So we really want to encourage children to learn through play. So something like a cash register is a really great way to introduce concepts of money and simple math. That's a really fun thing to do. They might even set up a store. So much you can do with different items of role play. Next on my list is organization tools. And this is a big category and super personal to your taste and your structure. But a couple of things that I really like are long accordion style files that really are easy to manipulate, and simple pockets that zip up that are clear because you can keep different activities in those little pouches, and they're super easy to organize and to see what's inside. All right, my next category is open-ended building tools. We have magnetic tiles, we have all different sorts of things. One of my favorite ones is actually something that I use for phonemic awareness, which is the magnetic cubes. And that can also be an open-ended building tool. But we really want to give our children opportunities to build with things and really create on their own without a structure to it. So something that's very open-ended where they're exploring how things are working in space, you know, their place in space and how things are working together in space. That's a very good hand-eye coordination activity. It's building small muscles in their hands. So there's a lot going on in that brain development. And again, children's play is their work and is their learning. All right, let's go on to the next one, games. We have word games, everything from Scrabble to we can do bananagrams. Those type of things are really great and fun ways to engage children in wordplay. And so if you're kind of in that age 6 to 7 category, that might be a really great thing to introduce. So you can look into some of those games. My next category is fidgets and other strengthening tools. I really encourage parents to look at tools that are going to build strength in children's hands for writing. When we have a child that's having difficulty with learning how to do letter formation, we often want to stick a crayon or not even a crayon, a marker or a pencil in their hand, and we think that practice is going to make that better. But in reality, what might be going on, although there could be other things such as dysgraphia, of course, but what might be going on is their hand muscles need to be developed. So no matter how many times they're practicing with a pencil, they may not be ready for that. They may need to do things like fidget toys, squeezy toys that really builds those muscles in those hands. Those are actually really important. So I encourage you to look into that. And of course, in all of these categories, it's going to be super personal to your needs and your goals, what you see that your child needs to work on. But this is just a broad range of ideas. I am so glad that you came to hang out today. Again, I encourage you to like, subscribe, help me get this information out. My goal is to provide trustworthy information to families who are home educating and want to help their children in their educational journey. And so I provide this for absolutely free, no cost. And so like, subscribe, tons of information and free video lessons available based on the science of reading. I hope to see you there when I teach to your child's super learning powers, one child at a time. Let's get going.